Hi and welcome back. I'm Mary Jo, also known as Sewjo, and this is my channel where I talk about all of my quilty stitchy things. And I'm going to continue on with making the Flower Shop Block of the Month quilt kit. And this is using the Dainty Meadows fabric lined by My Sew Quilty Life. So I'm going to be working on month 3 or block 3, which is this right here. So I have all of my pieces already all cut out here, ready to go, and I kind of put them in order and then I'm going to need them. So here we are. Let's get started. Okay, so I have my U pieces right here, and these are my R's. I'm just going to do some stitch and flips on both of those pieces here in both corners right here. Then I'm coming down to my S pieces, and these are in 2 different colors, and I'm going to do some stitch and flips on these 2 bottom corners on both pieces. Then I have my T's, and I've got them in 2 colorways, and there's 2 different pieces. And I'm going to do stitch and flips on this corner, and then the next time around we'll do a stitch and flip on the other corner. But because these are going to overlap a little bit, I need to do them one at a time. For these, I can come down and then go right back up. So I have that. And then I'm moving over here to my W pieces. And I need to do some stitch and flips on opposite corners. So one's going to go there, one's going to go there, there, and there. Now they're also calling these W units. It's the same piece, just in a different colorway. And once again, I'm also going to do stitch and flip there, 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 and there. And these stack over here is something I will do later. Just got them stacked up how I need them. Now I'm going to come down here to this piece, and this is my double A. I've got 2 pieces here. We're going to do stitch and flips in each corner there. Then this is my just A unit. Now this is all hand embroidered. You do not have to do this. This kit came with a panel that you cut apart that had these already on it. However, you didn't have the panel. They do have a little diagram in the instructions that you can trace if you wanted to hand embroider. So I'm going to put my BBs on top and bottom there. Then I'm going to come over to this side over here. And I have, let's see, this is C's and R's. So I'm going to put stitch and flips on each corners. And this is EE's and N's. Stitch and flip down there. Then this white piece here is my D unit. Now I'm going to do stitch and flips on these. So to start off with, I'm going to do a stitch and flip of this yellow right here, and then a stitch and flip of the blue in the opposite corner. And then the same thing over here. I'm going to do a stitch and flip in the yellow and stitch and flip in the blue. And these are going to be my D1 unit and my D2 units. Now the only difference is going to be between this one and this one is how we press them. That's why they kept them separate. Okay, so I'm just going to pin all this together, take it to the sewing machine, sew, press, and then we'll be back to my next steps. Now this is how I like to sew. I like to group everything together, get as much done as I can over at the sewing machine all at once. Okay, so all of that is sewn and pressed. So I'm going to take my U and R unit. I have 2 of them, and I'm going to take my ends and I'll add them to the side of each of those. There we go. These I can leave alone for right now. Nothing to be done about them. Then this, I need to add another R stitch and flip down to that side to make those. Now I'm going to come over here and I need to add these Q's. Which Q there, and a Q there, and then I'm going to add a J's to the bottom. And then with these, I need to add a Q to the top. Just like that. And these down here, which are my AAs and Rs, I need to add an H, which will go in the middle to that, and then these Ks to each side. This, I just need to add a Z to each side to make those. Then I need to come up here, I'm going to add that to the top. Then here, just add that to the top. And then down here on these units, I just need to add stitch and flips, these blue to the other corner. Okay, go ahead and pen, sew, press. Okay, so these pieces I can just set aside for right now. I don't need those. These pieces as well, I can set these aside. Now we're down to these pieces, and I need to do stitch and flips with these end pieces. And I've got 2 pieces here, so I'm going to do a stitch and flip on opposite corners. And the same thing with this blue piece, stitch and flip on opposite corners. Then up here, I just need to add my X piece. That will go like that, kind of forming the stems to those leaves. And then I need to form my white piece right there. Now I'm down here, and I need, this piece will be on top, this piece will be on bottom. And then over here, this I just need to add my I to for now. And then these pieces don't need to do anything with yet. Now it comes to my D1s and my D2s. So my D1s are going to go in opposite corners, and these 2s are going to go here to form a flower. So those are what we're looking like so far. Here we go. All right, let me do some more pinning, sew, and I'll press. Okay, so these units still I don't need yet, so I'm going to set these aside. Now these are going to need these now. These are going to be middles here. Put that one there, that one there. And then they just go on each side of that to form a flower. Here's what the blue ones will be like. So they'll go on each side to form that flower. Now up here with the leaves and the stems, I sewed this leaf onto the stem, so now I'll need to sew that one. And the same with this. This we're going to leave alone for a while. So there's the leaves. Just need to sew that onto the stem and this onto the stem. And then over here, I just need to sew these on top of each other, like that. And then finish forming the seam to make that flower. Okay, we're starting to see some of this come together. So I have these two yellow pieces. And then the flower part, the green flower and the blue flower. This one will go under the pink flower. And this one will go under the blue flower. But before I do that, I'm going to bring these all down a little bit because I need to add an E over here and a B over there. So I will pin all of that together. But before I do that, I'm going to come over here. This I'm going to leave alone for right now. And this, I'm going to join the C over there. And then I have this, which I'm going to add an H to the top and an H to the bottom. Okay, let me pin and sew all these together. Okay, so I have my pink and my blue flower, and then I have this P that I'm going to put on each side. One goes there, one goes there, and then I'm going to put a P on this side. Nothing with this right now. Let's see, and over here with these pots, I just need to put my L right there. And then with this flower, I need to put my GGs on each side. Okay, it's getting close to being done. I just need to join the pink and the blue flower right there. Then this will be joined there after that's done. This we're going to leave alone for right now. But I'm going to take this and I need to add a JJ to the top there. And then I need to do some stitch and flips down here on both corners. I think that's the last of the stitch and flips for this block. Okay, almost done. Let me go ahead and finish showing you what this block's going to look like. So this is going to be sewn on top of this. And then this will be sewn on top of that. So it'll look something like that. And I'm going to put that strip there, and this strip there, and it will be done. So I'm going to go ahead and finish sewing everything together, and I'll be back when it's all put together. And it's done. Block 3, the flower shop quilt. So this is what theirs look like. Month 3. That's what mine's looking like. So it's all done. Okay, till next time.